right, time now 10:36. Let's get over to Hannah with our forecast. Hey, Hannah.
Hey Rob, we're tracking a lot of activity in the plains that could bring us some storms later this evening. You can see a lot of low pressure systems. We have this swirl here almost looking like a tropical system on land. You can see it's kind of cleared out in the middle, but down to the south of it is what we call the outflow boundary, or the winds that are rushing out from below that system, and those pop-up storms. So we are seeing storm activity about to head into northern Louisiana, but there's multiple swirls. We saw another one come by last night. It's right over here. There's another swirl up here by St. Louis, and all of these are traveling around an area of high pressure that's over Texas and the desert Southwest right now. So we are seeing high pressure down here, starting to see a low digging by up here, and that's going to cause even more waves coming across the atmosphere. You can really see how it is waves. We have these greens popping up where it's storms. They're coming down to the southeast, and we're going to see that again today. So I do think we'll see some storm activity in our area as this line makes its way down southward across Louisiana over the next couple of hours. So storm threats for us outlined for the North Shore all the way down to the metro. That's a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. The main threats are going to be damaging winds coming out from that line of storms. Could see some street flooding if we have heavy downpours, frequent lightning. There's a lower end hail risk. It would be on the smaller side, and a very low end tornado threat. So mainly focusing on the wind threat. We are seeing a couple of pop-up showers right there in Tangipahoa Parish, but they're starting to kind of dissipate now. Even southern Mississippi seeing a shower or two. So I do think we see a little bit of moisture, especially this afternoon, but the big storm activity is going to come later this evening, just before sunset. This modeling showing it just staying on the North Shore, but I don't think we can live by the models this time of year because they're not going to have this placement correct. We have to watch for the chance that that does make it farther down to the south. Then we're watching more rounds of these very similar swirls coming by the next couple of days. Tomorrow, too, we could see some storms. And then Thursday, this modeling showing that swirl right over us. It's another one of those smaller systems. We call those mesoscale convective systems, which are just a fancy word for clumps of storms. So we'll watch for this each day throughout the rest of this week. We're keeping those rain chances. The weekend does look a little bit drier, and then we'll have to watch for some more moisture at the start of next week. We do see some fronts trying to come down. That's going to change the pattern up a little bit. It won't be those storm systems as much. It's just the consolidating of the storm activity ahead of the front. And then look what starts to happen next week. We see a plume of tropical moisture. We have a low up to the north. That's going to guide that moisture up across Florida. And it is that time of year where we have to start watching for some tropical mischief. That is the typical formation area for June. We start to see that in the eastern Gulf. So something to watch for. I think anything that does try to come together is going to really struggle, but it could bring some meaningful rainfall to parts of southern Florida. We're seeing really bad drought conditions right now. National Hurricane Center not outlining that yet. We have no development expected in the next 7 days right now, but it's something that we'll keep a close eye on. If we're on the western side of that, we might see some drier air coming down, which will help with our humidity. Still very humid today, though, very summer-like, seeing some sunshine, some clouds. We have a couple of those pop-up showers. It's going to be the case into the afternoon. Mid-80s right now for all of us. We do have quite breezy winds coming from the southeast, so you might feel that today. And then 92 for our high. This is nowhere near those records, which is good news. We're not quite as hot as we could be. We're kind of more toward the average temperature, which is almost 90 degrees right now, so we're pretty close to that through the end of the week. I do think with the drier conditions this weekend, we could push more into those mid-90s, which will feel pretty hot, but again, we're still pretty far away from the record temperatures, so that's good news. Tracking the storms all the way through the end of the week, so make sure you have that weather app handy. We could see some storms later.